Isaac was old and almost blind. He called his son Esau, which was his oldest son, and said, "My son." "Yes, father," replied Esau. "I am an old man now," said Isaac, "and I expect every day to be my last. Take your quiver full of arrows and your bow out into the open country and hunt some wild game for me. Prepare it the way I like it, so that it is good and savory. Then please bring it to me to eat. Then I will pronounce the blessing that belongs to you, my firstborn son, before I die." But Rebekah had overheard the conversation. When Esau left to hunt, she said to her son Jacob, "I overheard your father asking Esau to prepare a delicious meal of wild game for him, as he wants to bless Esau in the presence of the Lord before he dies. Now, my son, do exactly as I say. Go out into the flocks, bring me 2 fine goats. I will prepare your father's favorite dish for them. You will take the food to your father. He will eat it and bless you instead of Esau before he dies." "But mother, he won't be fooled easily. Esau is hairy and I am smooth. What if my father touches me? He will see I'm trying to trick him, and then I will be cursed instead," said Jacob. "Let the curse fall on me, dear son. Just do what I tell you. Go out and get the goats," said Rebekah. So Jacob followed his mother's instructions and brought 2 goats. Rebekah took them and cooked a delicious meat dish, just as Isaac liked it. She then took Esau's best clothes and dressed Jacob with them. She made him gloves with the hairy skin of the young goat and fastened a strip of goat skin around his neck. She then gave him the meat dish and some freshly baked bread. Jacob went to his father and said, "My father." Isaac replied, "Yes, my son. Is it Jacob or Esau?" Jacob replied, "It's Esau, your oldest son. I have done as you have told me. Here is the wild game, cooked the way you like it. Sit up and eat, so that you can give me your blessing." Isaac asked, "How were you able to get it so quickly, my son?" Jacob replied, "Because the Lord your God put it in my path." Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come over here. I want to touch you and make sure that you are really Esau." So Jacob went over and Isaac touched him. "The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's," said Isaac to himself. But he didn't recognize Jacob because his hands were hairy just like Esau's. So Isaac pronounced his blessing on Jacob. "Are you really my son Esau?" he asked. Jacob replied, saying, "Yes, of course." Then Isaac said, "Now bring me the meat, my son. I will eat it, and then I will give you my blessing." Jacob then gave his father the food, and Isaac ate it. He also had some wine that Jacob had brought him. Isaac then called his son over and asked him for a kiss. So Jacob gave him a kiss. When Isaac had caught the smell of Esau's clothes on Jacob, he was then convinced and blessed his son. Isaac said, "The smell of my son is the good smell of the open fields that God has blessed. May God always give you plenty of dew for healthy crops and good harvests of grain and wine. May many nations become your servants. May you be the master of your brothers. May all your mother's sons bow low before you. All who curse you are cursed, and all who bless you are blessed." As soon as Isaac had blessed Jacob, just before Jacob had left his father, Esau had returned from his hunting trip. Esau then went to prepare his father's favorite meat dish and brought it to him when he had finished. He then said, "I'm back, father. I have the wild game prepared for you. Sit up and eat it, so that you can give me your blessing." But Isaac asked, "Who are you?" "Why, it's me, of course, your oldest son Esau." Isaac began to uncontrollably tremble and said, "Then who just served me wild game? I have already eaten it, and I have already blessed him with an irrevocable blessing before you came." When Esau heard this, he let out a loud, bitter cry. "Oh, my father, bless me too," he begged. Then Isaac said, "Your brother was here. He tricked me. He has carried away your blessing." Esau said bitterly, "No wonder his name is Jacob. He has deceived me twice. First he takes my birthright, and now my blessing too. Oh, haven't you saved even one blessing for me?" Isaac said, "I have made Jacob your master and declared that all his brothers will be his servants. I have guaranteed him an abundance of grain and wine. What is there left to give?" Esau pleaded, "Not even one blessing left for me? Oh, my father, bless me too." Esau then broke down and wept. His father then said to him, "You will live off the land and what it yields, and you will live by your sword, but then you will shake loose from him and be free." Esau hated Jacob because he had stolen his blessing. He said to himself, "My father will soon die and be gone, then I will kill Jacob." Someone got wind of what Esau was planning and went to tell Rebekah. She sent for Jacob and told him this: "Esau is threatening to kill you. This is what you should do. Flee to your uncle Laban in Haran. Stay there until your brother's fury is gone. When he forgets what you have done, I will send for you. Why should I lose both of you in one day?" Rebekah then said to Isaac, "I am sick of these local Hittite women. I'd rather die than see Jacob marry one." Isaac called for Jacob, blessed him, and said, "Don't marry any Canaanite woman. Instead, go at once to the house of your grandfather Bethuel and marry one of your uncle Laban's daughters. May God Almighty bless you and give you many children. May your descendants become a great assembly of nations. May God pass on to you and your descendants the blessings he promised to Abraham." Isaac then sent Jacob away, and he went to stay with his uncle Laban. Esau heard that his father had blessed Jacob and told him not to marry a Canaanite woman. He also knew that Jacob went to Paddan Aram. Esau now knew that his father had despised the Canaanite woman, and so he visited his uncle Ishmael's daughters. In addition to the wives he already had, his new wife's name was Mahalath, and the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son. Meanwhile, Jacob had left Beersheba and traveled toward Haran. He arrived at a good place to set up camp at sundown and stopped there for the night. Jacob found a stone for a pillow and lay down to sleep. As he was sleeping, he had a dream of a stairway that led to heaven. He saw the angels of God going up and down the stairway to earth and back to heaven. At the top of the stairway, the Lord was standing, and he said, "I am the Lord, the God of your grandfather Abraham and the God of your father Isaac. The ground you are laying on belongs to you. I will give it to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be as numerous as the dust on the earth. They will cover the land from east to west and from north to south. All the families of the earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. What's more, I will be with you and I will protect you wherever you go. I will someday bring you safely back to this land. I will be with you constantly until I have finished giving you everything I have promised." Jacob then woke up and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I wasn't even aware." He was afraid and said, "What an awesome place this is. It is none other than the house of God, the gateway to heaven." The next morning he got up early. He took the stone he used as his pillow and put it up as a memorial pillar. Then he poured olive oil over it and named it the place of Bethel, meaning house of God, though the name of the nearby village was Luz. Then Jacob made this vow: "If God will be with me and protect me on this journey and give me food and clothing, and if he will bring me back safely to my father, then I will make the Lord my God. This memorial pillar will become a place for worshiping God, and I will give God 1/10 of everything he gives me."